my daughter. And as I was sitting here, this thought just came to me about, pivoting, especially if you're a high achieving woman or man and you've experienced very high levels of financial success. You have, really deep levels of, or high levels of influence and impact in your industry. So you're seen as the expert or the go to person. And I wanted to have this conversation with you because I believe that as much as we talk about pivoting, we do not talk enough about the grief that it brings. Because pivoting is not just about changing your niche in your business. Pivoting is not just about doing something different. Pivoting is really, truly a personal transformation journey. And when you start to pivot, pivoting can feel like death. The reason it feels this way is because you are essentially saying goodbye to everything that you've known, or at least most of what you've known. You're saying goodbye to a version of yourself that you have come to know for many, many years. You're saying goodbye to um, something that you've done, things that you have become known for, that when people say that they need a certain service or products, you are the person that pops into the mind of people. And so the reason that I wanted to have this conversation again is because I don't believe that we talk enough about the grief that comes along with pivoting. And again, it can feel like a divorce, if you will. You find yourself wondering if you did all of the things that you could do to really make this part of your life work. You have these feelings of nostalgia where you may see some old success stories, some old videos, some old photos, and you start to think about all of those good moments, and those memories keep popping up because your heart and your mind do not forget the good times when you were in that space, right? Um, and not only that, it feels like, a divorce because you start to think about who may you disappoint, the people that have come to love and know you in that space. And, are you going to disappoint them? You start to think about the people that you may have to leave behind because you're pivoting into a direction that is different from anything that people know you for, right? Or it may not be that it's completely different, but it is in a different way, a different capacity. And so, you experience this vast array of emotions. You question if you're doing the right thing. You question if it's the right time. You question who will still be there. Not only that, you're also having to learn and evolve into different versions and parts of yourself that have lied dormant because you were in a space and now God is requiring you to shift into a different space. So there is grief that is attached to that. And so the human part of us, when we're in this space, because we know that grief can be painful. So the human part of us when we're in this space is to rush, to hurry up and get out of this space. But when you rush, you are really trying to resist the uncomfortable or the unfamiliar, the undesirable steps and the hurdles that you have to walk through to get to the other side. That's what rush does. However, when you're rushing, you also miss the lessons that you need to learn so that you can leverage them in this new space that you're going to. And so while I tell people when you're in this space of pivoting, while your knee-jerk reaction and your emotions may try to convince you to rush through it just to get through it, what I want to tell you to do is to rest, because during this time, what you're going to do when you're in rest, you're going to reconnect, and you're going to realign your life with your deepest values, your bigger purpose, your core values, the things that really matter the most to you. You're going to have to learn how to embrace and embody the totality of who you are and where you are going. You're going to have to submit and surrender The need to control the narrative, the outcome, surrender, submit to God's way of doing it, which could be completely different from what you've done in the past, and that's what makes it so scary. But when you do that, you actually transform. You transform the way that you approach life. You transform in the way that you think about what you're called to do, and then you transcend beyond and above any previous levels of success or impact that you've had in the past. And so, what I wanted to say to you, and I'm going to leave this with you guys, this next strategy, this next success strategy is spiritual. Because again, your pivot is not just about doing a different business or doing something different. This pivot is about you becoming the version of yourself that you didn't know existed. It is about you transforming yourself from the inside out. It is about you being able to lead with greater impact and influence in an arena that may be new to you, but it is not a surprise to God. It's not new to God because He already preordained this moment. He was just waiting for you to come into alignment with the shift. And so I want you to, again, this is not about you rushing. This is about rest. Resting in knowing that where you're going is greater than where you've ever been. The impact you have will be greater than any impact you've ever had before. The increase that you think you had before is nothing compared to what's coming, okay? So as you go through this process, you're going to step on bigger stages and greater stages, and you're going to unveil a power and a potence and a presence that is going to truly wow you. It's not a surprise to God because He already knew that this was coming for you. But when you're in this space, I highly recommend that you get a mentor. And I could easily tell you to get another business coach or go invest in another business strategy. But this next season, this next strategy is not practical. It is spiritual. That is why even the practical strategies that you've used that have yielded supernatural results in the past, they don't work for you like they're supposed to, because this next level, this next strategy is spiritual. And it is going to be about the evolution, the embodiment, and you fully embracing who you are at your core and the true and divine purpose and calling that God has on your life. What you've done so far has been great because it got you to this place, and you'll have skills and you have strategy that you can use that will actually speed up this process. However, there's certain parts of this that cannot be skipped because this is about character development. This is about cultivating your calling. This is about no longer compromising and conforming to fit into certain atmospheres that you were actually called to be a catalyst for change. And that is why this space is so different. That is why this space can't be navigated with simple business strategies like marketing, offers, pricing, branding. None of that is going to work for you until you embrace this part of the journey and truly evolving into the next level version of yourself. And this requires God and God first. And then it requires a mentor who has the strategic insight and the spiritual wisdom and anointing to be able to help you see the things that you can't see for yourself because you are too close to it. You're inside of the jar trying to look at the label. And again, this is why this is not about a business coach. This is about someone who can operate as your guidance spiritually, so that you can have supernatural leaps and bounds, okay? And when I say spiritually, I'm talking about God, the one and true and only living God. I'm talking about the Trinity, the one in the Bible. I'm talking about, the God, the Father of Jesus. That's what I'm talking about. And so I just wanted you to understand this. This pivoting is going to be profound, but it is going to unveil a power that is so potent that when you step into rooms, into atmospheres, your very presence will begin to shift them. When you open your mouth, the people in that room, whether they want to be or not, are going to be transformed just because you said a word. This is where God is taking you to, and this is why this necessary process is the only way that you're going to get there. Again, this is a supernatural, spiritual journey. It's not going to be mastered by your skill set and your business strategy, your business acumen, it's not going to be able to be master navigated through. Okay, so that's all I wanted to leave with you all. This video is only 9 minutes. I did good because my goal when I come on here, unless I'm doing some Q&A, is to keep it 15 minutes or less. And so I'm gonna wrap this up right here because I believe that I've given you enough to sit with, to consider, to stand on, to pray about, and to help you take that next step. Now, I have opened my space, my calendar, to support the high achieving woman who is experienced. I'm not even going to limit it to women. Thank you, Holy Spirit. But to the man or the woman who's accomplished and achieved high levels of success financially, high levels of impact, influence, and increase in your business and or your career. But you know without a shadow of a doubt that this next success strategy is spiritual. And you need a mentor who not only hears from God, but can hear from God concerning you because they are submitted and surrendered to God first. And they have no ill or ulterior motives. And so I've opened up my calendar. If you are in that space and you're like, Dr. Dean or Shamika, Auntie, whomever, this is where I am, I need this work, then you can just comment on this video, or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Shamika Dean, Dr. Shamika Dean. Send me a quick message. Let's chat. I don't want to mentor you if we're not aligned. If I believe that we're not aligned, I will tell you I do not believe that we're aligned in this season. Okay, so just send me a message or comment on this video and we can chat there. Okay, love you guys so much. For those who you are just tuning in, share this video if you will with others. Give me some feedback in the comment section. I will come back and respond to you. Okay, I love you immensely and intensely. That's all I have for today, and I'll be back when I have something else to say.